coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
Governor Parson is defending Missouri vaccination rates again today after the CDC ranked Missouri at the bottom of the list for vaccination rates. Good evening, everyone. I'm Emily Spain. Thanks for joining us tonight. Across mid-Missouri, counties are preparing to vaccinate thousands of people as early as tomorrow. We have live team coverage of the vaccine rollout effort here in mid-Missouri tonight. KOMU 8's Brendan Hall is live in Jefferson City with the latest on an upcoming vaccination clinic there. But first, KOMU 8's Marissa Rios is breaking down why Governor Parson says the CDC's state rankings are misleading.
Well, Emily, today's press conference wasn't even supposed to be about vaccinations, but it's the first topic Governor Parson brought up. On Tuesday, the state put out its own vaccination dashboard in response to the CDC's data. Now, Parson's been saying that there's been misleading numbers with CDC's data, so we decided to compare the numbers. On Tuesday, the state's dashboard said 4.5% of Missourians received at least one dose. The CDC reported 4.3%. That's just a 0.2% difference. That difference moves Missouri from 50th out of 50 states to being tied for 48th. Parson says the CDC's data just wasn't up to date.
I'm just telling you what happened to Missouri, and it was totally inaccurate to kind of report us as last when that wasn't what the data really was, and it wasn't up-to-date data.
Missouri's enrolled in a federal program which has CVS and Walgreens distributing vaccines to those in long-term health care facilities. Today, Parson addressed what will happen to the leftover vaccines from the two pharmacies and how the state will redistribute them.
We did get permission this week to take some of the doses, whatever amount we felt deemed necessary, to take that doses back, put it in our system, back into Missouri's control, where we could put it out to the health care facilities across the state.
The governor says Missouri will stay enrolled in the federal program, and CVS and Walgreens will continue their vaccine distributions. Reporting live in Jefferson City, I'm Marissa Rios, KOMU 8 News.
Independent pharmacies are ready to give out COVID-19 vaccines in their area, but supply is an issue. State officials are trying to get doses into their hands instead of relying on Walgreens and CVS. Local pharmacies like D&H Drugstore have a limited supply of doses. The CEO of the Missouri Pharmacy Association says the state should have made independent pharmacies a bigger part of the plan from the beginning.
We just think if we could have gotten independent pharmacies involved much quicker, we could have helped raise those numbers quicker and taken care of communities.
As of today, Missouri has now given first doses to 5.3% of the state. That's according to the governor's new dashboard. Cole County is getting ready for its first mass vaccination event next week. The National Guard will be on hand for the February 5th clinic. KOMU 8's Brendan Hall is live in Jefferson City, where next week's event will take place. Brendan?
A number of Cole County organizations are working together to host next week's event. It's taking place right here at the Link on Lincoln University's campus. The county plans to vaccinate 2,000 people in Phase 1B Tier 2. That includes anyone 65 and older or those with severe health risks. Capital Region Medical Center is helping contact eligible people for the vaccine from 6,000 residents who filled out a survey. The county's presiding commissioner says many of the people they've called have already been vaccinated.
We're finding out that about 25% of the people they've called so far have already had their vaccinations elsewhere. So that's what we really need to ask people is, you know, if you do end up getting vaccinated somewhere else, if you would let us know so we can remove your name.
If you haven't filled out the survey, you should talk with your doctor before calling the health department. Bushman says with all the help from local partners, next week's event will be easy. Live in Jefferson City, I'm Brendan Hall, KOMU 8 News.
The Mexico airport is getting ready for a drive-through vaccination clinic there tomorrow. The National Guard will help distribute 2,500 vaccines. Vaccinations there are given on a first-come, first-served basis and will be available for any Missourians within Phase 1B Tiers 1 and 2. That includes first responders and people who are 65 and older or high risk. No one will be allowed on the airport road until the vaccinators are ready. Parking on Highway 54 is not allowed. Overnight parking is not allowed either.
There may be multiple people in a car. That's what we're hoping in, so that there's not 2,500 cars that we push through. and everything is constructed to get people in and out as quickly as possible. They will have, after they receive their shot, they'll have about 15 minutes. They'll have to stay in an observation area. And as soon as the 15 minutes is up, we will push them right back out to 54 and they're on their way home.
If you show up tomorrow and receive a vaccine, you can get the second dose in 3 weeks at that same location. The Randolph County Health Department and the Pettis County Health Department will both host vaccination clinics this weekend. Both clinics will require you to pre-register. The Randolph County Vaccine Drive-Thru is tomorrow in Moberly at Rothwell Park. Pettis County will hold a mass vaccine clinic in Sedalia through Saturday at the Missouri State Fairgrounds. About 2,200 people are expected to be vaccinated. For more information about the times of these events, visit our website at KOMU.com. A Missouri nonprofit that provides services for adults with intellectual disabilities is holding vaccine clinics across the Ozarks for its clients and staff. It vaccinated 240 people today in Springfield. The lead nurse says they were excited to offer the clinics because most of their clients are high risk and have had to stay in their homes.
I'm very sad because I can go out to do stuff, like go in places like the mall, basketball, go out to dine in restaurants and stuff.
Tomorrow, the clinic will be open in Monet and Joplin. The Kansas City, Kansas Public School District hopes to give 1,000 district employees the COVID-19 vaccine this week. The district is teaming up with the county to vaccinate its teachers and staff. More than 2,500 employees say they want the vaccine, but the district says availability depends on supply.
If the supply keeps coming at the rate that it came this week, I think it's probably safe to say within a few weeks we may have all of our staff members at least who have received the first dose.
The district says it plans to bring back some students late February for in-person learning 4 days a week. Back in mid-Missouri, Columbia Public Schools began vaccinating some employees earlier this month. Only 216 out of the nearly 3,000 employees were considered eligible to get a shot. This is because they are nurses or work directly with medically fragile children who are in person. The timeline for when the rest of the CPS staff will get their vaccine is still unknown. That information will come from the Department of Health and Senior Services. The state reported over 1,600 new COVID cases today and 16 additional deaths. The positivity rate now sitting at 10.2%, and there are currently 1,900 hospitalizations. In Boone County, there are 86 new COVID cases to tell you about today, and 79 people are hospitalized with COVID in the county. Kenton.
Chances for rain and snow in the next 8 days coming up, Emily.
Okay, thanks, Kenton. President Biden is making a lot of changes in his first full week in office, how he's bringing back policies from his days as VP. Plus, lawmakers are looking ahead to warmer weather. What new additions were made to duck boat legislation? One of American Airlines' largest operators, PSA Airlines, their regional flights have been temporarily grounded by the Federal Aviation Administration for an inspection issue on nearly all of its planes. PSA operates the American Eagle flights. According to the Columbia Airport's website, this shouldn't affect any of its flights. President Biden is taking steps today to support health care coverage for those without it during the pandemic. He's opening up the Affordable Care Act for a special enrollment period, reversing changes from the past 4 years that have made it more difficult for low-income Americans to get Medicaid. NBC's Alice Barr has more details from Washington.
In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
While the president's plans face pushback in Congress, a new Pew Research poll shows reducing healthcare costs is a top priority for more than half of Americans. Dr. Anthony Fauci is urging Americans to get the COVID-19 vaccine, especially those who are hesitant. He says he respects people's concerns, but wants people to trust the technology we have today.
We went from the sequence of a virus to getting a highly effective vaccine in the arms of people in about 11 months. A decade ago, that's would have taken 7 years. But that is not a reflection of cutting corners.
Dr. Fauci says the vaccines work against the new UK strains and South African strains as well. A Springfield, Missouri man is facing criminal charges for his role in the January 6th riots at the U.S. Capitol. Police and the FBI arrested Zachary Martin today. Martin faces several federal charges, including accessing a restricted building and unlawful activities on Capitol grounds. Senator Josh Hawley now says objection to Biden's win wasn't intended to keep Trump in office. Hawley was the first senator to say he would object to the Electoral College certification. Hawley says he's been consistent, arguing his sole intention behind objecting was aimed at sparking debate over Pennsylvania's voting system. Hawley says he has no regrets. Missouri Senators Roy Blunt and Josh Hawley have reintroduced legislation to improve the safety of duck boats following that deadly tragedy in 2018. The new laws would require using life jackets and equipping all operating duck boats to be more buoyant in case of emergencies. The bill passed the Senate unanimously last year. The president of a popular Missouri beer company has resigned after harassment allegations. A former employee of Boulevard Brewing in Kansas City filed the allegations against Jeff Crum a year ago. On Monday, the company said it reviewed the charges and there was no harassment or discrimination. Then, on Tuesday, it apologized, saying harassment did occur after several former employees shared their experiences. Kent?
Emily, we got a lot of cloud trend getting to about Wednesday, right around 50 degrees, and then we have some rain and snow chances on Thursday.
Okay, coming up, only 10 days until the Super Bowl, why one Missouri native isn't wearing Chiefs colors. But first, here are your lottery numbers. Good luck. Well, most Mid-Missourians are cheering on the Chiefs in Super Bowl 55, but one Mid-Missouri man is supporting the other team. Brad Berlin, a Marshall, Missouri native and two-time Mizzou grad, is now in his 5th year as the head equipment manager for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Despite having grown up close to Kansas City and spending multiple years in Columbia, Berlin is happy to be on the other side of the field. He says he's always had dreams of being a part of a Super Bowl.
You know, when you work in the NFL, you come to work every day to work for the Super Bowl trophy. That's everybody's dream, even from when you're a little boy. And we're working for that right now. It's pretty awesome.
Pretty cool when dreams come true, that's for sure. Equipment managers are in charge of ordering all of the team's gear and getting the players fitted for new jerseys and helmets, especially for the Super Bowl. Speaking of the Super Bowl, it feels a little different this week for the Chiefs as they start preparations for Tampa.
Now from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
Game on Saturday, and that's sports.
Welcome back. Here's another look at your day tomorrow. Temperatures are going to start off in the middle 20s, feeling more like the 10s though. Then we're warming up to the middle 40s in the afternoon. A big warm up from where we were at today. Should see some sunshine in the morning. More cloud cover though as we head through the afternoon. Then Saturday, a bit of a washout for us once that gets here in the morning, and then it'll be raining all afternoon and all evening. It's breezy but drier on Sunday and cloudy, and then we'll be on a warming trend next week with still more chances for rain and snow next week too.
So Ben, Bruins won.
I call for an investigation and a preemptive investigation of the investigation. No, great game tonight for Rockbridge. That program, one of the best in the state.
So for those who don't know, I'm a Rockbridge grad, Ben's a Hickman grad, so we're going to have a lot of feuds.
It's going to be fun.
I'm staying out of it. It's fun to do it.